you have like that 70s like movie bit where you have someone for dinner and you have someone in the house who's not going to be there, so you have to be at like 2 dinners.
Yeah.
Instead of like, so they're like, yeah, you stay in, and then they go downstairs for Buzz and like take out juice boxes for everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking just
shut the fuck
throw
up.
the Pop-Tarts in there, damn it.
Like, who put the furnace on? That's carbon monoxide. Ah, fuck it. You're all going there anyway. I'm like really excited about this project, mainly because I remember when I was like younger, like early teens, and I had a skateboard. All I wanted to do, anybody I knew who had tools, I was like, can you build me a skate ramp? And they were always like, no, that'd be a lot of money. I'm like, well, I have wood at my house. And they're like, well, you have the wood, sure. And then they'd look at it, and I had no idea at that age, and they were just like, yeah, we can't make one out of that. Because it'd be like an old like bed frame or something. I'm just like, make me a skate ramp. Somebody make me a skate ramp,
Please.
And now I'm thinking, that's something else that I'd love to make. If we found somebody who wanted one, I would totally love to build like a vert or a half pipe or something.
Yes.
That looks like such a fun.
Because it's a fun engineering experiment.
Because it starts off so like far away from what it's gonna be and just pieces of wood. But when you've got the frame together and everything's sanded and ready to go, and you start putting those things on, and you look at it, it's like I can imagine that people who do that for a job must every time be like, that looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason that people watch this shit, and I don't think it's so much because just skate parks look awesome, like visually.
Mhm.
I've been pondering, like with one of these, I'd be interested to see how this rides, because I imagine it would ollie really well. Because this tail's substantially bigger than like the skateboards I used to ride. Like it was either on way less of an angle.
Yep.
And it was also rounded, so this part's only hitting the ground.
Mhm.
Like
The snap you get off of that is probably substantial.
I know, you could probably get some lift. Plus, I imagine it'd be making kickflips hell of a lot easier, because you wouldn't have to do anything up here. You could literally just push down on this corner, and the whole thing will just roll.
It's like a fucking fingerboard, like the tech deck or whatever it was.
Yeah, it'd be insane. No, I don't know. This all started because I was watching the Detroit Heartlines on Hulu, the signature series from Red Bull. And I didn't know they even did skateboard on that, because I was watching all the motocross and those crazy fuckers, and I like watching BMX people. I love that as a visual thing.
R.I.P. Dave Mira.
Just brutal, man.
That dude was my fun. Him and Ryan Nyquist back in the day.
Nyquist is still going.
Is he still competing?
Yeah.
The dude's like 50.
Dude, he won the dirt run.
Of course he did.
If you still have Hulu, dude, that was the best episode of that entire thing I've ever seen. The track they had was so sick.
Fucking Ryan Nyquist is still...
Dude, he doesn't look that old.
He's gotta be close to 50.
Yeah, but he looks fucking good.
Like fucking Tony Hawk is in his 50s.
And that guy's starting to show it.
He's starting to look like shit.
He stayed good for all that time, but now he's starting to...
I suppose it was the skateboarding that kept him young. When he stopped competing, he just started to get old.
That's it. But
remember when he hit the 900 for the first time?
Oh shit, man! I miss being that age when all that was happening.
And the X Games was like the in the summer. It was right before school let back in.
But it was all happening, and you had all these like characters and all these exciting things happening. Now, I can't. Extreme sports just isn't really a thing, is it? Like I don't even know people who ride bikes anymore. Like.
I know a bunch of my friends, this is elementary school. This is like, between 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like those years, the formative years of riding BMX is like, I knew kids that were really fucking good when they were like 10 and 11.
Yeah. See,
Which blows my mind that it was that long ago. Jesus God.
My favorite thing on a BMX is... My older brother is really good. He's what got me into all the extreme sports shit. When I was like young, he had this complete chrome BMX, but it was old school as fuck. So the gears worked both ways. So you could pedal backwards, but that also meant it was a flatland BMX. But that also meant if you were riding it like on any other bike and you went down a hill, you can't keep the pedals like this. The pedals go with the wheels.
Oof.
So however fast the wheels are going, it's
one
as
gear.
fast as your fucking pedals go. And I guess that's good for flatland because it's all balancing tricks and shit.
Yeah.
He was really good at that. I used to watch him ride the only like jumps I saw him ride was the spines, like the little like 2-3 foot ones like that that come off the ground, and he'd do all like the cherry hops and I always used to make him do the toe jam tail whip. I love that. I'd never do it. I've tried it once.
You stick your foot in there and
it just looks so cool. But when you actually try it, it's so fucking terrifying. It's you feel fucking cool until it comes around to here and you're like, no, like there's an entire piece of metal, like there's a piece of machinery coming at me, and like the most vulnerable, like nothing taught me what sucks in pain wise than knocking your shin against like your pedals. And so when anything else would come close and you'd be like, but if I don't get my leg over and it's gonna hit me right in the shin, and like just that pain where you're just disabled for a second, where you just can't speak and you can't, your brain's just going like and you're like, you'll feel all your nerves like throbbing from it, just because it's just.
I remember I was trying to ride a wheelie.
Oh,
that was the only thing. I had this my parents bought me. I had a fully chrome. It was gold and chrome. It was called the company was called Royce Union.
Oh.
And like I had the single frame Huffy that had the back brake. But this is the first one that had hand brakes and pegs and all kinds of shit. And I thought I was Billy Badass on that thing. And my buddy Andy, really really good BMX rider. I raced with him a couple times. He was always just fucking phenomenal. And it was the first time I tried to like a multiple pedal wheelie, and I was trying to look cool as shit, so I did it in his driveway, and I got up and I got 2 pedals into it, and I was like, yeah, and I turned and looked at my friends, and I didn't know that my handlebars had gone like this, and the second that wheel hit the ground, the bike stopped, and I just right to the ground, drug my chin across the ground, knocked thank God I had a helmet on.
There's a reason that I never was with the BMX. I'd never do like crazy jumps. Like I'd ride them, but I'd never be getting more air than like I'd literally ride them smooth. So like if it was a jump going from here to land is here, I would literally go like the quickest route to the landing because it's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah.
And I had some bad falls off of
when you're more than like 6 feet off the ground, it's
trying to like it's when
serious.
you start, because when I started I was so sure that I was going to be the bomb at it that I was like skipped all the baby steps, and like I was like, I can ride a bike, so I went to the skate park and they had a bowl there, and I just tried dropping in and just ate shit for like 2 hours over and over until I got it. And then when I finally got it, I was like, why have I done this? Because I don't know what to do when I go
Get to the other side.
Like no one ever told me. They always were telling me all these hints and tips about how to get in, but they didn't tell me what to do when all of that velocity flattens out into this wall that I'm gonna hit, and I'm gonna go like directly up in the air, like what to do. So it was like really sketchy, and so from that point, I just loved riding the BMX race tracks. Yeah. Because all those jumps are exactly what I like. It's designed to be, once you find the rhythm of the track, it's designed to be smooth and fast.
Yeah, just get around.
For me, it's more of an internal like feeling of how like, and it's not visually good for anyone to watch. Everyone's watching and doesn't think anything of it. But when you're doing it, it's so exciting. Like going around a berm. Like after you get some speed up, so you come down and you go over like the tiny tabletop. And that puts you into speed, and then the berm comes around. And as you're doing that and you sort of lean in, it's just like you don't get to do that in any other part of life. Like but being on your bike and just being at this 45-degree angle and going fast and shit. It's like this is like This is so fun. And it was not about looking cool. That's the one problem with the whole poser thing around, like, all extreme sports. Is the poser people have kind of ruined it. 'Cause that isn't what it's about. Like, people think that skateboarders are douchey, and people think that, like, BMX riders are douchey as well. But that's only because they're the kids who hang around where they know you'll see them with their brand new BMX, and you never see them ride them or do anything.
Yeah.
Or they'll do, like, shit on curves. Like, just get on one and just give it a go. Like, don't do anything crazy. Just fucking do that. Like,
Yeah.
get a skateboard and ride up to a curb and just hit it and then pull the nose up. And just pretend like you're on the end of a bar. And just like, this is really cool.
Yeah. That was my in when I was a kid. Like, when I was with all my friends and everything. The kids, it was weird. Where I lived was on a hill like this. All the kids that lived up top here were like the basketball, sports, doing well in school, A student kids. A bunch of them went off to be, executives and cops and in the military, like really stand-up people. And all the people that lived at the bottom of the hill were exactly that. Like, they were the rugged, like, back of the bus, Saturday detention, smoking in the back of the cul-de-sac where your parents couldn't see you, fucking drinking when we're 13 and shit, like that. And I lived right dead in the middle of all that, like right in the middle. So I was the kid who, like, I played basketball and football and all that shit and got decent grades, but I also smoked pot. And I also smoked pot and scammed chicks and rode bikes with the kids that lived down there.
Dude, poor people, especially, like, because where we lived, like, what we got up to as kids, we had so much more fun than any of the rich kids. Like, they just know, we just know all the cool shit to do. Like, you give us some rain at a grassy hill and a piece of wood, and that is it.
Yeah,
like,
that's
we
all
are
you
all
need.
gonna ride this piece of wood down this hill. We're gonna take the wheels off of these skateboards, and we're gonna snowboard on dirt. Like,
and we're gonna get fucked up when we're like at the bottom of that hill. We have no plan, because the hill doesn't go like this real nice. It just stops and it goes flat, and you're just gonna get. You just gotta know that that's what's gonna happen and give yourself over to it. I'm a firm believer in when you're a kid, you need to get fucked up. You don't need to break any bones. You don't need to get in these things serious, but like you need to bomb a hill on a skateboard and then get speed wobbles and just fucking blow yourself up.
Shit real hard. You need to like scrape your knees up and
scrape your
put
knees.
your hands. This is a feeling that's so deeply embedded in me. Is the sting of concrete sanded palms.
Oh yeah,
like do you remember that when you'd look up and you'd have like bits of grit in your hand, and you're just like
gravel and rocks
and
all kinds.
Stings like a bitch, and it's like vibrating up your bones.
Yeah, it's the worst, best feeling in the world. It
does. It gets your adrenaline going. And what I remember as a kid is when that would happen, you wouldn't never stop. You'd be like, and then someone else would do it, and like, I could do better than that. And then you'd go and do it again. It's like...
Messing yourself up on a piece of machinery is, I feel like, a birthright. It was a birthright for me. And I let my kids now. I'm a dad now. So... And when my son flies around the corner, racks his brain off of the coffee table, it's not like... It's like, bet you won't do that again. Like, you gotta, like,
that's how they
there's a sheltering now that happens that, you should protect your kids and they shouldn't get hurt. They should not. But when they do, don't act like it's a bad thing. Don't act like they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. Because then you have...
Then they go out at 18 in that car and wrap it around a tree.
Yeah, exactly. There should be,
They need to know what to be scared of.
Exactly. They need to be terrified of speed.
Yeah.
They need to have some kind of reservation,
or at least respect for it.
Well, I mean, I feel like the professional athletes have a fear of the, like, when a snowboarder's flying down a hill, he doesn't give a shit how fast he's going. But when he hits that 16-foot tall kicker and he's 70 feet in the air, that's where the respect comes in. And I feel like that's sort of, when you're a kid, if you can get past that, if you want, that's the thing you need to get past. Like, just like with everything, like, the coolest things in life are just on the other side of terror.
Yeah, there is.
Just in the, like
True.
skydiving and all the extreme sports, like those guys live just on the outskirts of normal.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't normal to huck yourself, especially like, when we're talking like BMX and everything, those guys get pretty, like on the dirt courses, they're like 30 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah.
In some cases, but like when you talk about the motocross and the Moto X and all those, like Travis fucking Pastrana, that's a 200-foot long thing he's hucking himself through, and he's, you know, 10 stories in the air. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
There's
actually,
you're
like,
dead if you fuck up. Like,
I've been watching like a bunch of
different creatures.
There's this skateboard channel which I've started watching a lot recently because it's a project we're working on. That's where I find a lot of my information.
That's where this talk's coming from.
But I also found that it's called Braille Skateboarding, and I really like the guy because it seems to me, I haven't researched it, but it seems to me there's always like kids, like he's got, I guess it's like some sort of area that he owns, like he owns a skate park, I don't know, but there's always like a ton of kids there, and he's like a signed skateboarder with someone. He's no one, I don't want to say that he's not relevant, but like I've not heard of him.
Not anyone too particular. He's not like Rob Dyrdek or anything like that.
He's pretty damn humble. That's what I like about him. And he has a cameraman who every now and again, to do his tutorials, instead of just saying, this is how you do it, because I can do it, and then just does it, he actually, in all his tutorials, which I really like, he has the cameraman who, at the beginning of it, had never skated before. Like, he could push, like he could ride it, but that was it. He couldn't ollie. And so for the ollie thing, he literally stands there for the whole video and just makes the guy keep trying and gives him pointers until he gets it. So you know that the tutorial works. I really liked that. And he had, like, it's so cool to watch this man's development on, like, when he takes him from that to then, okay, now I'm going to teach you something really cool. So you know how to ollie. And he was like, so I'm going to take you to this box. And he took a bench and lowered it right down to the ground about here. And he's like, I want you to stand in front of it and, like, ollie onto the edge and then just come back off of it. You know, the first couple of times he's not quite getting it, or he's like, and then he finally gets it, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to raise it up now, I want you to like ride it and grind, and you just see this guy who's like never skateboarded in his life, in these couple of months just become somebody who can actually like
do something.
Yeah, he can actually like ride now, like he can actually do it. And the only thing I saw him be like kind of sketched out, like, he's a fucking, like, hats off to that cameraman. Like, a lot of people who already skateboard look at him and be like, this guy's shit. But you're all shit at some point.
Yeah, like you must embrace the suck. You have to understand that you're gonna blow at this for a long time. And if you can understand that, just like in riding a skateboard and committing to that, or with anything, learning to play guitar, cooking, you're gonna suck at that for a while if you have to practice it.
There's times where I'm too into what I'm doing that I make it suck, even when I know what I'm doing. But times when I go and cook and I'm not,
you second guess yourself.
I'm not up here,
and
I'm not just I'm not just doing it. But when I'm actually thinking about it and being like, is that enough salt? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
But I second guess and put too much, or you know what I mean? Or you're like, I think that's enough, and you know it isn't, and you don't. So yeah, you will always revert back to that at times, but you know better.
Yeah, you always will. And I think that's a really cool philosophy to cross over. And that was that entire first part of that podcast in my brain segued into this one point that you can take that philosophy and bring it over into making.
Just a heads up. I didn't know that I was on that podcast.
I didn't know that we were doing it either, but it came into its own.
I only knew when that went beep, 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 and I was like, oh, shit.
We were filming, yeah.
Am I producing content?
Of course. We're constantly producing content, even though we're not.
Content.
I like it.
But
like, you can take that philosophy of embracing the suck and bring it over into making. You absolutely can do that because no one, not even the greatest of all time, the Rick Bakers, the Tom Savinis, Adam Savage, some of the best of Frank Ippolito, the best once sucked.
Yeah.
And once were terrible at what they did. And not to say, maybe not terrible conceptually because brilliant minds exist, but your mind isn't in control. My point behind that is your brain has everything in it. We've proved, with brain surgery and everything, you can stimulate, if you have someone's head open and they are under local anesthetic and they are awake, because most brain surgeons know when you're awake, you can stimulate parts of their brain, and people have spoken other languages. And people have solved complex equations in front of them just by having a certain part of your brain stimulated. It's been proven by science that it's mostly locked away in here.
Yeah.
And which makes sense because it's the most misunderstood and not understood part of the human body, our consciousness. Is our brain. It's up there. What makes us human is our individual thoughts and individual brains. And that's there, but you have to tap into the physicality of it. You can't, because if it was just naturally born like that, every 1-year-old could write their name.
Yeah.
Could hold a pencil.
Yeah.
Could do it. Could walk immediately out of the womb. There's a
weird.
That would be
That would
just
be
to see an
so
infant
weird.
Pop out of his mom. And I hope that doesn't happen when I
Just baby.
Alex, if you're watching this in the future, I hope you didn't do that.
You go around the maternity ward and they're all just leaned up against the wall, just she's still in there. She's still
Gaga goo goo bitch.
down waiting.
There's a tit around here.
Yeah.
I know there is. There's a tit around here. Hey, Warden, I need a tit.
Your mum got one spare.
Get over there. I'm looking for the breast.
I'll take the left.
Robin Williams. That's one of my favorite. His night out at the Met, talking about his son Zach being born. He's like, I had that moment. They put my son in my arms. I had that moment, father, son, father. And I remember he looked right in my eyes and he pissed all over me. And I said, I'm a parent now.
Yeah. Oh,
he's a big head, little tiny body. It's like daycare center of the damned. Sometimes coming his room and the toys are floating 6 feet off the ground. Come in, father. Put the dog down, Damien.
Yes.
R.I.P. to Robin Williams right about there.
I'm pretty sure that the chicks in hell are hotter, and I don't know why that is.
There is this thing about.
I just think that they would be hotter.
They would have tits, not breasts.
Yeah, I feel like if angels in heaven are anything like nuns, can you imagine? Can you imagine being good your whole life and then getting there and it being fucking Sacred Maples fucking retirement home and you're just oh my god.
No!
Just bingo.
Just bingo. It's just bingo for eternity.
Bingo till the reckoning. And then it's countdown to the reckoning. You're just oh my god.
What if you got to heaven and there was actually a clock up there?
Hmm.
And what if you got to heaven and the clock was the moment you got to heaven is when the clock ran out. I was like, I'd be like, mother, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's the point?
Why did I die?
God doesn't like me.
Why the reckoning's happening right now? I was gonna be here anyway.
Yeah.
What the? Damn it!
Yeah.
Now I gotta go back down there. You're gonna go back down there and hear everybody's bullshit about why they need to be up here.
I bet heaven was great until the Wright brothers fucked it up. Now it's just noise polluted like a motherfucker. Take me underground. I want to go to the other guy.
Just constant
But
fart
it's quiet
noises.
down there, except for the screaming.
Except for the screaming and the anal rape. That's.
So yeah.
That's well, I mean, it's tolerated. It's tolerated here.
Yeah, yeah.
Go on the internet right now. Can you find videos of hell, like actual hell, not pretend hell, that people say like, oh, it's a video of hell, like actual videos of hell. No, you can't. Can you find a video of a chick fucking a horse? Fucking A right, you can. That's wow. We just we've gone off rails.
Yeah, but my point still stands. I will place a wager with all that are witnessing that when we will meet at the second coming.
Yeah.
If it were to happen, not saying that it won't, but if it did.
Well, if you go by Irma, it might.
So let's say that it did. So we've all already died, and then Jesus comes back. So we all come down, and we're all fighting each other because someone's hell, someone's heaven. We'll all just meet, and we could compare notes on who had the hotter chicks.
Yeah, because the reckoning is heaven and hell converging on earth.
Yeah, so we'll let you know.
Which is, I mean, if you read between the lines, which reads between the lines of the Bible. If you see the meaning, it's single space, man. You can't.
Meanwhile, we have the rest of our lives to determine a ranking system of how we will calculate evenly between two people of different tastes of who has the hotter chicks.
Yeah, we also have to.
We have to figure out that.
Yeah.
So that'll be the next project now. The skateboard.
That'll be the skateboarding. The skateboard and all. Once we've had our fill of making, we will become philosophers of some kind. And just wager whether or not.
Being a philosopher seems like a fucking good job.
I mean, philosophy degree. We're just watching Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And he has a degree in philosophy.
I just imagine it involving a wingback chair and a lit fireplace.
Yeah, and you just talk about shit and get paid for it.
Yeah. Which
is kind of what we do on podcasts, and hopefully, maybe someday we'll get paid for that.
Yeah, at this point, we're paying for it.
Yeah,
we're like self-employed philosophers.
Yeah, self-employed philosophers who aren't making any money. Yeah. That's what we are.
There you go.
If you're still watching this, I applaud your resolve.
I know. I'm struggling to follow where we're at.
I have no idea.
The Metaphorical Box Company is just booming for business.
They can't keep product coming out. They can't.
I like to imagine like a third dimension of like beings who that's their only job is to like hint into our realm these labels to put people in. Just like, oh, but sir, there's these people now, and they don't just lay with men; they lay with women too. Fuck. Like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. What do we call it? How many letters do you have left? I got 2. I got an I and a B. Like,
okay,
put it together. Like, make the box. Like, put them in it.
Put it in front of sexual.
You can't just have them roaming around.
Put a hyphen between that and sexual. It's okay. It makes it okay.
Yeah, and then all they had left, they were like, I found an A. Okay, we'll do that. That's a separate box.
Yeah, completely separate. Just an A. All right, another hyphen.
Everybody in a box.
Everyone in your box now. Go to your box.
Get in your box. Jesus is coming.
That's
pretty much what it is. Like, metaphorically, it's like so you can. I imagine moving boxes. So when Jesus comes, they just take you up and hide you in the back room.
What is that? What's that movie? It's with the boy and the trolls. Is it?
Box trolls?
Box trolls, yes.
Yeah.
They're safe in the boxes. Yes. Outside is terrible. Safe in the boxes. We sleep in these boxes.
I just imagine that this is how I picture that day of reckoning going, like Jesus' second coming, is that he turns up, and what all this organized religion is they're just all these labels and boxes are just ways for them to monitor us in certain ways, so that when it happens, they're like, get in the box. Jesus is coming. You just put them in the basement, have Jesus round for tea.
Yeah.
Like, hope that they don't make any noise, and then you have like that 70s like movie bit where you have someone for dinner and you have someone in the house who's not going to be there, so you have to be at like 2 dinners.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, you stay in, and then they go downstairs with us and like take out juice boxes for everyone.
Just throw the Pop-Tarts in there, damn it.
Like, who put the furnace on? That's carbon monoxide. Fuck it. You're all going there anyway. And they just go upstairs and shut the basement.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Meanwhile, Jesus is looking for finger sandwiches, and you gotta go in the goddamn kitchen.
So do you have any fish?
You have any fish? Like, fuck, God damn it, Lord, you made me, I have one. Can you,
Yeah.
I have one. Oh, that's no problem. Jesus is here.
Yeah.
Yes.
But can you do it with cod?
Can
Like
you
battered cod.
Batter, yes, we need fish and chips to
Yeah.
feed the masses. You
Yeah.
can't just give a man a fish anymore.
But does he have to like? Can he produce like cooked fish? Because otherwise, that's still I mean, it's great, but
Like, can
then
we
I'm gonna
skip
have
a
to
step?
still cook it.
Yeah, like if the Lord is in your house, can we just skip a step? Can he
Does
just
he
go like
know?
that?
Does he know about this?
They know. They know. He would have no concept of beer battering. That's what I think. Like, you need to have
Wait,
him.
beer?
Hell
You
yeah.
drink wine, right?
There was. I
Like
mean,
a motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
his blood tastes like it.
yeah.
Like-
That's at the core, Jesus is an alcoholic because his fucking blood was wine, man. That's
Jesus
like
is my favorite person in the
That's a-
whole Christian
that's
faith.
100%. And even going. What was your point on Christianity? People telling you that Jesus was a Christian.
Yeah. It's so stupid to be. I feel. Let's get it this way. I'm not going to blankly say stuff because then the only comments that we ever get on any of our podcasts will be people damning us to
Yeah.
damnation. But you're not Jesus, so you
No.
can't do that.
No.
He even said, so stop it. So, like, I just think it's very weird that Jesus, as a Christian, you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and he's aware he's the Son of God, and he is a Jew. And then he dies, and now we're Christian. Like, the Jewish,
Yeah.
like, Jews are still a faith, and I feel like it's to have the audacity to say that you know better than the Son of God. Like, I mean, can you
Yeah.
get any more, like,
You,
no, the Jews don't know what they're talking
Like,
about.
he
Like,
literally-
Jesus was a Jew, so you have to be careful on some extent on what you say about them.
Yeah.
But they killed him. It's just like, yeah, but didn't they already say that he knew what, God sacrificed him, so he knew that was going to happen, so didn't God make that happen? So then-
you can't. Apparently, if your only shot of religion is Bruce Almighty, then you can't mess with free will. So if that's a thing, then God didn't make that happen. God may have
Yeah,
implanted God may have put.
But then did he
Certain
sacrifice his son?
Then yeah, exactly.
We murdered him.
Yeah,
Like,
because
it's
he was
like-
different.
Like, and then it's like, so this is the problem I have.
Thank God there were
This-
cops back
This
then.
is the problem, though.
Yes, there
is
were.
so there's one view, like it changes on what you're talking about with them. So if I bring up that point, they'll say, well, the Jews killed him, and then I'll say, but God knows everything, and God sacrificed his son, so he obviously had foreknowledge of what would happen, and he'd already told Jesus that he was going to die, so he'd already known that it was going to happen, but it would help everybody, and it's what needed to happen. So did they kill him, or did Jesus, sacrifice himself? And they like to believe that until you start saying, defending the Jews, and they'll be like, no, because that isn't right. And then you talk about like free will and all that, but then God set Jesus up. It's like a cop movie. It's like Goodfellas.
Yeah,
It's like he sent him down there to do a deal,
and it went sour.
and just sold him out.
Yeah.
Just sold him right out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's pretty weird. I don't know. I think all.
I think they should make that movie and call it The Departed because it is.
Oh shit! Yeah, that'd be funny.
Let's cast Leonardo DiCaprio as Jesus.
I'm in. No. I think Jesus would be like Tom Green.
Yeah, or Zach Galifianakis.
I mean, I just see Tom. I see Tom Green and how weird he is, but like that's what I imagine Jesus as. I imagine him as a dude who just talked nothing but plain sense.
Yeah.
And people liked him because he was funny and charismatic and shit. And he was just like, yeah, but it says about killing the virgin, but let's not kill any virgins.
Yeah.
And like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, let's do what this guy's saying. And then all the other people were like, dude, I just got all these virgins to murder, and now no one wants to murder virgins. Like, that's a whole day of murder fishing. virgin fishing, merger fishing. That's what they do on Wall Street.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they
what.
go fishing for mergers.
Yeah,
But no, it's just like it's just so weird. Pretty much what he taught was like the complete opposite
of what
they say
what
God
is in the
says.
Bible.
And isn't that is the Bible just a tale of how the relationship between a father and a parent and child changes over time and the views that they have?
Yeah, that's
Right?
exact. If you go by New Testament, which is where Jesus is,
So God is like
it goes completely against almost all the Old Testament stuff,
Yeah.
building up to that.
that's it. It's like and it's how our generation has changed. So like God is like the the fucking dad who did his time in Korea and came back and settled down, had a son. And then he's like teaches him what he thinks is good and this is right and this is right because this is what right at the time. And then his son grows up and he's like, okay, you can go out and do your thing. And then he goes to college and smokes a bunch of pot and he's like, hey man, fuck, we ain't going to Vietnam, like fuck that shit, nobody needs to die and all this shit, love each other, everybody. And then his dad's like, you goddamn hippie, like it is, right?
Well,
Like
Jesus, I mean, shit. If your portrayal of if the portrayal of Jesus is right, I mean, he did look like a Western hippie. He did.
I'm down
You wore
with it.
you wore flowing robes, had long hair and a beard, and hung out with hookers. That's fucking hippie. That's a hippie.
The thing that I love about the argument about like people love to mock hippies and like when I see events like Woodstock or shit like that, I can't help but envy them. Like who doesn't want to be there?
If I had a time machine, that's the first place I'd go.
Anybody, like any of them, fucking like Burning Man, like just go back in time. If I had a time machine, I'd go there and live there till I died, like in that time period with those fucking people. Because people argue that they just talk about loving each other and doing all this, but they have no idea on how to do it. It's like, look at what they're doing. There's like hundreds of thousands in there smoking weed, drinking beer, and listening to music, and everyone's banging.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's exactly how you
Quit
do
your
it.
job. Like, stop it. The reason you can't see that is because if you're a woman, like your man's working 9 to 5, you're doing the dishes, doing the kids' lunches. Of course you can't see any other way around it. Get a fucking joint and, go bang in the woods or something. Like,
Vigorous lovemaking for 2 hours.
yeah. Like, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only way out of it. If you want to go to heaven, you got to fuck your way there. Because that seems to be that the hippies had gotten it right.
I think.
What was given in the Bible was love everyone as thou would love them yourself.
Here's
So
the biggest argument for marijuana out of all of them. Like, I will even accept that beer is evil. I'll accept that, and I love drinking beer. In case you haven't noticed, like all the podcasts, I'm pretty sure.
I would love to have a case count.
Oh my god, we should do that. We should.
We should definitely do that.
We should have a little tally at the bottom of each podcast saying like how many collectively we went through. But
Yes.
I will accept
Speaking
that
of
because
is there more in here?
yeah, definitely.
Sweet.
I would just think that marijuana is like the only thing that God let us do, and if that's the case, I'm cool with that. Because
Totally fine.
here's one thing: is like when I was smoking weed like every day, and you can't just say when I was smoking weed every day. You have to say when I was smoking weed like every
Every
day,
day.
right? I hardly smoked any cigarettes. I had like no desire to smoke cigarettes. I didn't have desire to drink beer. I want to drink like soda or water and shit 'cause my throat's dry from all the fucking bongs I've been hitting. So eventually it kind of aids your like your like personal health, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because especially if you're not mixing with tobacco and you're not fucking, and now we have, I don't know, actually I don't trust the vapes really. I think in years to come we'll realize that. But people have been smoking shit for
Popcorn one.
since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And we know what that does to us, and it takes a long time for that to happen. So that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. But no,
There hasn't been one recorded case of cancer due to marijuana consumption.
Yeah, that's
It's the only thing. And people would argue that, well, you guys drink beer. Why would you think beer is evil? The stuff that's in beer was put on the planet by God. Yes, but we took all of those things that were individually put
So was uranium.
Yeah.
Like,
they were individually put on the earth by God, hops, barley, and water, and sugar. And we were like, nah, shit's not good enough. We're just going to throw it in here and we're going to make this out of it. Weed, you can literally go up to a pot plant, pull a bud off of there, and roll it and smoke it. You can just eat it if you wanted to. You really could.
Like, it's that simple. Bears do that. Did you know that?
No.
The biggest potheads in
Are
the animal
grizzly bears?
kingdom are grizzly bears and moose.
Because they go eat the pot plant.
Those people who have these secret grows out places where they do acres and acres of fucking these huge marijuana plants reportedly they have to grow an extra amount to make up for all the stuff the bears will eat. Because a bear, I forget the exact amount, but this was on Edumacation, Kevin Smith's podcast, and Andy McElfresh, who does that, is a fucking legend. And
shout out to that podcast.
Yeah, definitely listen to that.
Amazing.
It's so good. But he said the number, and it's ridiculous.
Oh,
like
I'm
in
sure
one sitting,
I'm sure
they will just munch so much, and then they'll just have it. And so animals do it. Like animals do it, dude.
Animals don't drink beer.
No.
Animals don't smoke cigarettes. Animals eat marijuana.
Dude, when weed is legal, I hope that we have like more days off. Like they've got to account for it. Do you reckon California's had like a big rise in call-ins since?
They may have. I'm willing. The thing is, their traffic hasn't improved, and I'm thinking like, with all the people that would be off the road at 4:20 every day, you'd think.
Dude, my least favorite thing to do when I was high was leave the house at all. Let alone be in a car. I hate being in a car. I feel like I'm in the Pope-mobile.
Yeah.
It's just the glass box that everyone knows what I'm doing, and I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'd rather be in my house.
Like one of the best places I was ever, one of the best and worst places I was ever high was on a plane. It's like the plane was at 35,000, I was at 37.
Dude,
Like,
do you know?
Then I went into the bathroom, and anyone who's ever tripped on acid knows the bathroom's the last place that you want to go.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, it's all that Jesus shit you were talking. It's God going spill his beer.
We're gonna open a business for our roadkill skateboards in California because they'd be huge there. People love that shit. And we'd open a little factory, and our workers, what we would do is on the Chronos clock, we'd have it recognized when they go to swipe their card and put their fingerprint in, that if they have a day off the next day, it drops out a little nug for them. Like, isn't that
would be great?
Isn't that the shit? You will not find a place with better workplace morale.
This podcast is going to get us arrested.
Yeah, but
in Pennsylvania, it's only legal for medical use. So, push that glaucoma. Stare in the sun.
I know, I should have looked at that clip.
Wow. I really hope there's no impressionable children out there. In fact, I don't, because if you are an impressionable child and your mother and father is letting you watch YouTube as a recreation, then you should you get what you deserve.
You should be watching boobs. There's like tons of boobs.
There's so much porn on the internet.
Why are you watching this?
So much
like,
porn.
If you're able to get YouTube, there's so much better shit you can be watching.
So
right
much
now,
porn.
If you're not going to be watching this.
So much porn.
Yeah, it's quite incredible.
It's mind blowing.
Like,
no pun intended, really.
No, seriously, like
it's the biggest industry in America.
Yeah, like it has to have raised. Like I'm sure there was a statistic. Like science loves these statistics about, a person dies every this many seconds. Well, now I guarantee you, there's not a time of day that someone isn't getting their brains fucked out. Like,
no, it's happening every.
Because now it's happening like some people's jobs. Like, do you reckon some porn stars work more than one job a day?
Oh, for female porn stars, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure for guys, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely.
But female porn stars, I'm sure that. I mean, I've gone down these rabbit holes. I have acquired knowledge, and like there are some like Katie Morgan. Like probably one
Not
of the
familiar
more.
with her.
Yeah, yeah. Familiar with her work? Yeah.
No, not at all.
You're not familiar with her work?
No.
You should definitely look her up at some
Dude,
point. But she apparently at one point was doing like 11 scenes a day.
Jesus.
You know? And you got that one guy. You're one. If your pitcher goes down, if your pitcher hits the floor, it's over for you.
Yeah,
you've lost the whole team.
No one watches anybody thumbing the soft one. Like
no
one watches that video. How does that work? Like, is it like getting married? Like, do they get to see each other before?
I would hope, because like, if you've watched any...
I don't know though, because I've seen some of these girls without makeup, and it's fucking witchcraft.
It is. It's terrifying.
So I think, like, for me personally, I'd like to just be, like, in somewhere by myself, like, or with the guys.
And then you come out, you're like, oh.
And then they're just like talking her up. And
it's Christmas morning every single time.
And then they just kind of shut up about 10 minutes before I leave the room, and they kind of fall into the background. So then you just walk out and there's just some fucking girl there and some scantily clad shit, and I'm just like, okay,
this is how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that would have to be the mindset, because if you think about a film production, like film production in general, there's the director, there's the first AD, there's the camera guy, there's a lighting guy, there's a sound guy, there's a bunch of runners in the room.
Can you be method?
Could you? I don't know. Wow. What the fuck? What are we doing?
I don't know. We're going down a whirlwind right now. Let's just see where this goes. Cause
this is like 3 or 4 podcasts at once, I think.
I mean,
just keep the camera rolling.
Faiths, and then we got some gold. So, like, I guess
we
carry on
slandering the faith, and we got good inspirational stuff. We've got controversial shit. Now we're talking about porn.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's doing it. This is one of my things that I hate about, like, this is why I believe the Matrix, right? Bear with me. Not on that level what they believe it is, but I believe in the Matrix in some kind of level, in that everything you do when you leave your house is a lie. Everybody. Every interaction, like when you go to work, it's all a fucking lie. Like, these people itch their ass and pick their nose. Yeah. It's all a fucking lie. Nobody is like that. We lie to each other, even though we're all the same thing. We all pretend like none of this stuff happens, but everyone itches their asshole. Yeah. Everyone takes shits, and everyone fucking picks their nose.
Every single person.
Yeah, everybody. But it's the Matrix out there. It's not real, is it? Like,
no, this is in your own home is the only comfortable reality.
Yeah, and it's so weird to think about when you really start to assess that like all of us are like at this point where we understand all these things and we understand that we are all the same, that we're the same being, but we're still like, I'm not sure anyone else has figured out that they can itch their asshole, so I'm not going to do that when I'm in public, because it's probably not considered.
It's probably it's not considered. Right. It's taboo.
It's not considered right. Like, if it's itchy, itch it. Like,
yeah, if you have a problem back there, I mean, everybody like. And the next time that does happen to you, I advise, just go ahead and do it. When someone calls you out on it and be like, oh, your asshole doesn't itch. Ever.
Dude, like, I didn't even have the limit on picking my nose. Like, if I have, like, a blocked up nose where it's, like, dry and shit, and you know where it gets fucking... Because I clean, like, theaters and shit all day, so there's so much dust. Dude, I'll get up there and clear my airway. Like, that's what I'm doing. It's not like I'm fucking eating it after.
Yeah.
I reserve that for when I'm at home.
You have to have... It's got to... You got to draw a line.
That's a private moment.
You have to draw a line somewhere with it and everything.
But no, I just think it's really weird that there's this, like, false thing that we all try and lie to each other about what humans are, even though when we're all at home by ourselves within our comfort zone of people, you know, it's very different.
It's incredible. It's
way more primitive.
It's fucking gnarly.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying.
Like women.
Oh, Lord
women are
Almighty.
worse as that goes. Like, men are fairly bad, but we don't have the same...
What's expected of us.
And we can't keep that act going. I think we lack commitment as far as it goes. Yeah. Like, we lack the, you know... So we'll do it for so long, but then, you know, hot day, you gotta reach down there and give your nuts some air. And you just fucking spread shit out, and you're like, okay. But, like, with women, like, they're so, like, good at it.
Yeah.
They're so good at it.
They're ninjas when it comes to depravity. Like, you know, your beautiful wife is sitting on the couch and everything. You just kind of like sitting over here looking at her like she's so beautiful, and all of a sudden she just lifts her leg and just and goes back to like Candy Crush, and you're like, the fuck?
And you're like, I knew you for like a year.
Yeah,
I
think there's a cutoff point.
And
there's definitely a cutoff point.
There is. There's an expiry date on that pass.
Yes, yeah, there definitely is. Like, and that's true love.
But how do they do it?
How do they? I think it's just all like when your girl's in the bathroom, she is pissing and shitting and farting like for a week.
Yeah.
Like all of this is disgusting.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I will touch on is that I've heard people who have been together for a long time. Like I had friends back home who've been with girls for a long time. I've still never heard a fart. She's never farted. So I'm just like, it makes me. And it sounds so harsh when assumption things made, but it's like, you're not in love. Like you're not. Like it has been this long. Like this. Yeah. It's been years. Like you're talking about getting married, and she won't even.
I tell you what, she's saving that shit for the honeymoon.
She won't be a person. Like unless she's in. Maybe she's sheltering it even more because she's in some like really creepy shit. Because let's not get it twisted. Guys get this rap of being like pros because we're like tits, ass, and like looking at girls' legs when she's in a short dress. But girls, man.
There are
you go,
there
like,
are
if any of you are here,
nasty bitches out there.
Nasty girls.
And also not for nothing, but again, if this one's also for the ladies that are watching the podcast, if you ever run into a guy that says he wants to cover your body in honey and lick it off inch by inch, it's a guy that's never done it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't.
He starts at your ankles before he gets to anything interesting. You're asleep. He's in a diabetic coma.
Yep.
And people forget that honey crystallizes, and it's like, oh, it's we're not gonna pay for waxing this month, honey. Like,
a real man doesn't need honey on that pussy.
No.
like it doesn't. You'll think there is.
You'll think there is. You'll think that he's found something in there, and he's gotta get it.
Did I drop an M&M? Like he's looking at us like
he's looking for something.
Oh boy.
There's a really dirty joke about. I guess we're there, so I'll tell it. A guy is having sex with a woman who has the biggest vagina in the world.
Okay.
Halfway through it, he loses his footing, falls right in.
Okay.
Lands in there. It's pitch black, and he starts feeling around for everything. He starts feeling around. All of a sudden, he feels something. It's a flashlight. He's like, "What the? I mean, I guess, right? It's the biggest in the world." So he clicks the flashlight on. He's looking around. All of a sudden, he trips over something, and the flashlight goes into the darkness, and he hears this voice. He's like, "Hey, watch out, asshole!" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, there's another. Okay, I don't know where you're at, but like, if you help me, my flashlight. If you help me find my flashlight, we can walk out of here. And the guy goes, "If you help me find my car keys, we can drive out."
Yes. Dude.
God damn it.
No, but yeah, they like
should re-edit the Dirty Jokes podcast and
definitely.
put that one in there.
Dude, I love the Dirty Jokes podcast.
I do
that should
too.
be a recurring thing.
I did too. That was fun to edit.
It was so natural, mainly because the Rick and Morty podcast was like 2 seconds long.
Yeah, literally. I haven't even put that one up yet because it's not. We also need to do a post. The next one that we'll do would be a post Mayweather McGregor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I think this is a good enough place to end this particular one. I think this is going to be our longest podcast.
Yeah.
Also, most diverse topic.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've gone some places, but again,
that's an understatement, Warren.
Yeah.